I'm Sandra. I'm a second year Doctor of Occupational Therapy student, and I make content about every aspect of my life, and one big aspect of my life, especially right now, is money. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's chat about what I spend in a month and ways that I save money. I do work while I'm in school. I'm in a hybrid pathway, and so that gives me more flexible time so that I can be working during the day. While it is hybrid, it is not self-paced. I just have a little bit more flexibility in my day, so I'm able to work to pay for my cost of living. And going into school, my goal is to pay for my cost of living out of pocket, out of the money that I earn working while I'm in school, so that I don't have to take loans for those expenses to keep my overall cost of loans down. I still use a combination of loans and scholarships to pay for the cost of tuition. Yeah, I just wanted to be honest and transparent about my situation. While that may not be possible and applicable to you, you might not be able to work while you're in school, I do want to also share some tips that I use to save money to keep my cost of living low, and hopefully you will find that helpful as well. So on that note, to get a real picture of what my expenses and income look like, I will use October of 2022. That is the last complete month I have. So during the month of October, I made $1,325.76. I work 2 jobs and work about 20 hours per week, and that is where all of that income comes from. My largest expense each month is on rent. My rent is for a bedroom and attached bathroom in a 3-bedroom townhouse. I have 2 roommates who are also students. We live in a very walkable area, very close to our campus, and I pay $760 a month. That is well out of the 1/3 of your budget should go to your cost of living. And so I think I'm here to just remind you that as a grad student just trying to scrape by, you do not have to follow money rules. Especially in this economy, rent is ridiculous. This is well below the average rates for Denver, especially for our area. So I'm fortunate to have this opportunity to live there. If you can bring that down, I would, but also remembering your sanity, because I spend so much of my time working on school and in work, and I don't get a lot of down, restful time. I'm very glad and happy to give my money to a place that is safe and comfortable for me to come home to, so that I just can unwind easily. Having negative experiences with roommates or in a bad house, who am I kidding? It's $760 for that situation is an absolute steal. So my utilities include gas and electric and Wi-Fi. Water and trash are included in the cost of my rent, and my share of those utilities in the month of October was $65.11. With utilities, it is important to have conversations with your roommates about what you're comfortable to spend. So teaching people how to use energy efficiently. In Denver, electricity costs 3 times more during peak hours, so we try not to run the dryer or the oven during peak energy cost hours, because it does make a difference. My next largest expense is on groceries, and this is where I have a few tips for you. I'm in a fortunate position where I am dating someone who has full-time employment, and we purchase groceries together, meal prep together, and then split the meals up for the week. But if you live with a roommate who you can do this with, do it, because it contributes to significantly less food waste, which means you're not spending money on something that you're throwing away. And so I spent $170 on groceries in the month of October, and that was my share of groceries. But we still are on a budget, and so we save a lot of money on groceries, and some of the ways that we do that is by planning meals for a week that utilize the same ingredients, so that we're not having to buy multiples of items or throw things away. For example, an onion that you only use half of because you use both halves in 2 meals. That way I see it, saving $5 or $10 a week on groceries is a huge win. Another way that we save money on groceries, or your Kroger card, your Safeway card with your phone number, and it's free savings, so just use them. The number of people I know that have just been like, oh man, I haven't had time to do that. I save on average about $5 a week on my groceries because of those cards, which means that they're just marking stuff up that much. And also be smart about when you have points to get gas, to go to those gas stations and plan it out a little more. We build meals based off of what's in our pantry, not what we're feeling. So I'll open up our pantry and say, I'm only missing 2 ingredients to make a pasta carbonara. Let's use what's in the pantry first and go shopping for those 2 ingredients. That one is a huge money saver, again, because it contributes to less food waste. We're using up what we have. Another way that we save money on groceries is by buying items in bulk that we know that we're going to use when those items are on sale. So I don't just buy bulk items because they are quote unquote staples that should be in a pantry. I buy items that I use frequently. That's how I save money. Shimmy. That's the guy who pays for my groceries. The unfortunate truth about the world is that you have to get places at some point. So I spent $100.66 on transportation in the month of October. This includes an oil change that I got from my car, gas, as well as train tickets. I live walking distance to a light rail, and so I utilize the train for a few things, but transportation in Denver is poor, so you do have to drive. Luckily, gas prices have fallen. We're all grateful for that. Also own a bike that I need to use more. If you live in a bikeable city and you don't use your bike and you are stressed about spending money on gas, use your bike more. It's a great way to get a workout and transportation all in one. So yeah, $100.66 for car things / a few train passes. One tip that I have for saving money, however, is don't use Ubers. Don't drink and drive, but use trains and buses when you can, when it's safe. That's my tip. Use public transportation instead of Uber. And the last category that I spend money in is my quote-unquote fun money category. In this category, I include everything from dinners out with friends or with Jake to nights out with friends, as well as coffee that I buy at coffee shops in order to study, or lunches that I had to buy on the go because I had too much going on in one day. On fun money in the month of October, I spent $181.77. I consider this pretty good. I think a lot of people can easily spend $200 in one night out. If I do go out with friends, I advocate to only go to maybe one bar that has a cover. If I do drink, I try to drink before we go out. And if I buy drinks out, I buy well drinks, or I try to split a drink with a friend. Places that it's never okay to cut expenses is tipping. Restaurant workers work hard, can't afford them, don't use them. That is my hot take. Additionally, have friends that respect and understand your process, especially at the phase of life I'm in. I'm in grad school. I went straight to grad school out of undergrad. A lot of my friends went and got their big girl jobs. So just have those hard conversations with your friends. Your friends support you. And if they're not good friends. So have hobbies outside of things that cost money. Or if you do have a hobby that costs money, for example, like if you're a figure skater and you have to pay for a monthly like skate membership. I don't know where that came from. I've literally never skated in my life. But yeah, like then there's monthly fees, but then use them. Don't only go like once every other month. If you're paying for a subscription that you're not using, it's not worth it. But me and my friends, we like to go hiking. We'll go to farmers markets and just browse. We'll go for walks together, all things that are relatively free. Then it makes it easier to spend time with your friends and also afford those every now and then costly events. So yeah, those are my tips to kind of save money in that area. Those are all of my categories. So let's tally it up. In the month of October, I spent $1,126.74, which means that I spent less than I made. And I was able to save $198.12 because that was the difference. At the end of each month, I do this and I go through and tally up how much I made and how much I spent, and I save the difference. I use YNAB, You Need a Budget, in order to track all of my spending. I like that it's automated. I like that I can put things into buckets and see where my spending is in each of those categories. You do get 1 year free if you are a student, so I definitely recommend signing up for that and testing it out. There's a bit of a learning curve, but like anything that works, the learning curve is worth learning. Hopefully you found some things in here helpful and you feel a little bit more human as a grad student with your finances. We're all just trying to get by at this point, and then eventually we'll look back and we'll have a little bit more control over our financial situation. But until then, you got this. If you found this video helpful at all, please subscribe. It really supports my channel and keeps me motivated to keep making these videos for you. Drop a comment if you have any questions, and as always, I'll see you next Thursday.